TCU has not trailed a game in regulation all season long. And do not be surprised if TCU stays in this game, and I think they stay in this game. TCU's made a habit, not necessarily a good habit, but for many games this season, they would get down in the first half and then make an incredible rally in the second half. So to your point, when you talk about Max Duggan not letting this team fold, I think you're right, because time and time and time again, remember TCU taking on Baylor and how it was at the very end of that game. They had no timeouts. They had to rush their field goal kicker onto the game as time was running out, and the guy somehow puts it through. So even up to the final second, TCU will keep fighting and find a way, which is another reason why I think people like them tonight. And Max Duggan has been unbelievable. His story, and one thing that I don't think gets enough coverage, is he began the season as a backup quarterback to Chandler Morris. Duggan was the backup. Chandler Morris got injured early on, so they put in Max Duggan, and boom, here he is leading this team in the national championship game. He is so rock solid tough, and one thing he can do is keep plays alive with his legs. If you can find an over on a rushing prop for Max Duggan, that's one I would take a hard look at.
Yeah, I think the stars, or like the superstars on the offensive side of the ball for both teams, are probably going to be shining quite brightly in this one, because we just have such good talent at some of these key positions that it doesn't really matter the defensive matchup. These guys are a cheat code for any defense that is levied against them. So I think when you look at Quentin Johnston, the stud receiver for TCU, I think he probably has a big game. I know maybe the plan of attack for Georgia is you throw the kitchen sink at him and hope TCU doesn't have the depth to make up for it. But so far, he's been unguardable. Had 6 catches for 163 yards against Michigan, 139 yards against Kansas State, despite a loss in that game. And then on the other side of the ball, Brock Bowers, a tight end that is big, strong, physical, and a matchup problem for just about any secondary. And TCU is not necessarily like a big secondary or a big defense. So I think he's probably going to have a big game as well. Why would you not lean on your best players in the biggest game of the year? So I do think player props, if you can play them, are probably a profitable way to play this game.